when we
Yeah,
put the
right.
thing together, it'll be put together exactly as he said it without any interpretation, you know. All right.
Right.
Well, Tony Bennett, welcome back to Dallas. It is really nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
You've been away much too long.
Thank you.
I have to comment just here at the top. Congratulations on your Eddie Cantor Humanitarian Award. That looked like it was some kind of wonderful evening.
I loved it. You know, my daughter came at the cocktail party before she went to bed, and she just loved it also. And I was happy to find out that later on the Entertainment Tonight put her on camera, and it made her feel good, you know, with her schoolmates and all that.
What will you remember most about that night?
Well, Pearl Bailey. Pearl, I promised that I wasn't going to sing or anything, and she just grabbed me, you know, like she considers me her son, and she just grabbed me and put me on stage with her, and we improvised a number, and it was great fun. But Red Buttons was exceptional, not just that night, but I really think he's about the best comedian around today. Something's happening. He's stretching into something else. We've all known Red Buttons through the years, but that night he was just spectacular.
That is surprising because I don't know the last time I ever saw Red do stand-up comedy.
I know, and he has this whole thing, but that they give me a dinner, you know, he has this running gag, you know, and he talks about all the different celebrities, but that they give Napoleon a dinner, you know, he has this kind of thing, and it breaks everybody up, and he's just stretching into finding himself in another way, and I think a lot more people in the United States are going to become favorites of Red all over again. He's really hot right now.
Tony, do you have a favorite charity?
Well, I've been national chairman to the People's Campaign for the last 10 years for the United Way. So I do have one. There's some physically retarded people in Berkeley, California, and Judy Heumann is in charge of it, a girl in a wheelchair who does a spectacular job of gathering up all of the physically disabled people in that area, and they service other physically disabled people. It's a corporation, and it's run more efficient than, or as efficient as General Motors. It's amazing. They have deaf and blind people and handicapped people, and they help other handicapped people. And they're just fabulous. Someday, some creative director or writer should really do a film about them because they're quite different.
Tony, you're set for a 2-week engagement here at the Fairmont Hotel's Venetian Room. And let's see, how many years ago was it when you were
Tony
here?
Zappi was the first guy to give me a write-up in this town. And that was 30 seasons ago at the Hilton Hotel. No offense, Fairmont, you know. But that was my introduction to Dallas, and it was a great introduction. In those days, we had great buddies like Bob Bixler and Warren Leslie and the Neiman Marcus people, and we had great fun in those days. And right through the seasons, of course, I love playing the Fairmont Hotels. Dick Swig's a great friend of mine, and I love playing for him, and they treat me fine in these hotels, so I have a lot of fun here.
Tony Zappi tells me that you have a marvelous advance sale for your 2-week engagement
Boy,
here.
oh boy, thank you.
But it's almost always that way for you, isn't it, Tony?
Well, it's been that way since the obvious song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. It was kind of strange before that. I'd have a hit record every once in a while, but then that song became such a smash hit. I had no idea it would ever be that big internationally. This season alone, I'm going all over Europe. People commissioning me to sing in Italy and Paris and Sweden and Belgium and France, you know, and Britain, as a result of the song. Everybody loves that song that much, and funny enough, it came out in 1962, and here it is that many years later, and it's still very popular. Everybody loves the song, and it's a great kind of signature for me, for the public throughout the world. They come to see me, and it's been a very wonderful, it's created a wonderful adventure in my life to have that song.
Boy, that doesn't happen very often, and it really was kind of a fluke that you got the song, wasn't it?
It really was. I was in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and I was rehearsing with my music director, Ralph Sharon, who found the song and suggested that I do it, and a bartender was listening to us rehearse. He said, if you record that song, he says, I'm going to go out and buy it for my wife and myself. And it was a tip-off that we might have something there.
Tony, I brought along this calendar that you sent me for Christmas.
Yes.
And I would just love for you just to flip through it
Okay.
and just make any comments you want. And I'll tell you that you don't have to worry about showing the pictures. We'll
Okay.
edit the pictures in later.
Oh, okay.
So you just tell me whatever comes to mind when you look at those pictures.
Well, this is my brother in the background, and this is in Astoria, Long Island, when I was, probably 18 months old or so. And then my mom, this is when I was in the infantry. I told Bob Hope last night, he was talking about all the soldiers that he entertained through the seasons, and I said I was one of those soldiers in Germany. I was in France and Germany in the infantry, and I was one of the soldiers that Bob entertained. And, well, let's see. There's quite a few eventful things. Here's my first gold record with Mitch Miller.
What was it? The name of the song?
Because of You.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then this was the first kind of audience reaction from all the teenagers in those days. For the first 5 years, I never heard myself sing. There were just screams in the audience, and I didn't hear myself sing. And these are the fans, of course, and this is the wonderful Duke Ellington talking to me with his vocalist Al Hibbler. There's Count Basie. There's a letter from Martin Luther King.
Tell me about this letter now.
Well, it was a march from Selby to Montgomery, a 50-mile march that kind of freed the black people in the United States. And this little note that Martin Luther King said, "It was really good seeing you in Montgomery. Could not have made it without friends like you, and I hope our paths will cross again soon," which is a very touching letter by Martin Luther King. And
that was written in '65.
Yes, and there's Jimmy Durante, who is my favorite and everybody's favorite entertainer of all time. Here's Lena Horne, who I was on the road with for 2.5 years. And the master, Frank Sinatra. And these are the albums I made. I made approximately, in 23 years, 96 albums. So it's kind of a photographic biography of my life. And thank you for showing it to everybody.
Well, it was just, when I got it, I really put it in a very safe place so that no one would cop it off. And it's really something that I'll treasure, Tony.
Thank you.
Really.
I'm happy you like it.
I know that it's time to go in there and crank up for a few rehearsals.
Right.
And again, lovely to have you in Dallas.
Well, it's so nice of you to interview me today on opening night. Thank you.
And have a wonderful 2 weeks here in Dallas.
Great. We're all excited because Bob Hope's going to be there tonight, and George Barry, for the president of Fabergé, and the wonderful people of Dallas. And thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie.
Hey, were you rolling all that
No,
time?
no,
Oh,
just
okay.
now, just now.
Just now, okay. Okay, questions. What will you remember most about that night? Again. Tony, what will you remember most about that night? Do you have a favorite charity? Tony, of course, everybody associates the song Everybody associates the song, "I Left My Heart in San Francisco," with you. What has that song meant to your career?
Let's do that one again.
Okay. What has the song, I want to say met, "I Left My Heart in San Francisco," what has that song meant to your career? Is there any way you can evaluate what that song has meant to your career? it was really just a fluke that you recorded it, wasn't it? Okay. You have a tremendous advance sale here at the Fairmont Hotel's Venetian Room. Is it always that way?